cable? What do you need your cable for?
I usually have this plugged in, but I'm going raw dogging on battery. My step grandfather, my late step grandfather, he used to call batteries batteries. The way he talked, he was like batteries, and I would make him say it as many times as I possibly could in a moment. He's like, "Oh, this thing needs new batteries." I was like, "Oh, I don't think it's working." He's like, "Yeah, it needs new batteries." I'm like, "Oh, do you know anything to fix it?" "Yeah, batteries. We gotta get some new batteries." One time I made him say about 6 times in one conversation. My cousins would be like,
"We're not getting better than that. Back at it again, like we never left. I promise you, we're not." Just 30 hot seconds of battery talk. Coke and Dank, Dank and Coke. We are the Lethal Weapons.
"Hey, Dank.
Hey, Coke.
Why did Magneto cross the road?"
Why did Magneto cross the road?
They're having a sale on purple boots and gloves.
You know what's missing in that? If you said why did Magneto float across the road? I haven't seen that guy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that guy walk in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Savage Lands.
Why would you? Savage Land, they were running from dinosaurs.
Well, he was walking though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, his 2 feet were touching the grass because this feels weird. What is this?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you? Why would you ever I was like, why am I ever buying sneakers again?
I wish I had a soundboard with just all the different Xavier screams on it.
I mean, we could jerry rig that. It's not hard to make an online soundboard.
Oh, I'm sure you can just download somewhere. I think we're good.
But why the screams? I thought you just wanted the set of X-Men sounds because they're so deep.
Yeah, I would, but then that would just be a section where there's probably 9 screams that are just him, and then the rest would be 9 buttons that are just his different.
You broke the internet on Professor X's screams throughout the first iteration of X-Men.
Yeah,
because until we talked about it, I don't think anyone was doing it. And now we're finding supercuts and people hitting us back with you're not wrong. That dude screamed a lot. He was often in pain.
I think they're hilarious. If you listen to them all together, it's hilarious. I put them all at the end of the episode. If you listen to episode 86, just go right to the end. Listen to the last, I think it's a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It's just him screaming. It's pretty good stuff.
A lot to handle.
We're not talking about old X-Men. We're talking about new X-Men.
97.
This is episode 87, and we're talking about X-Men 97.
Hey.
You know what's funny? We don't have a name for the show. We just say it's Comic Patrol, but then our group is called Comic Patrol too. So,
what do you ask?
So I was just gonna say, welcome to. I was like, wait a second. I guess our show is just Comic Patrol.
Are we Comic Patrol?
But then we're called whatever.
We're the Comic Patrol.
Yeah,
because we're Lethal Weapons.
Lethal Weapons. You're right.
We're on Comic Patrol.
There you go.
We take Comic Patrol.
Yeah.
This is not us filling for time. We literally had a 20-minute conversation before we started about.
Yeah, no, this is just stuff that's coming straight from the dome.
These are Coke's shower thoughts as we're live recording. He's like, "Hey man, what do we call ourselves?" As we're 87 episodes in, what, do we have a name? What are we?
Because we don't really have a static intro. Professional podcasts would be like, "Welcome to this show. This is what we talk about. This is our socials. And we don't really do that. We've done it a couple times.
We say back at it again. Give them our socials. Then I'm all for
doing socials. So my point was, I was trying to think of how to start that, and I couldn't even start it because I was because my shower thoughts just got in the way.
We're on Comic Patrol. Find us at Comic Patrol at Gmail. Comic Patrol Pod at gmail.com. I don't think either of us have been on Twitter in a long time, but I think you can still find us at comic_patrol at Twitter. X.
No, that's you. You're supposed to be the Twitter guy.
Yeah, but I go and look at Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole beef. So, I mean.
Yeah. Beef, quote unquote beef.
Well. Turkey.
Okay, so this is
think of a protein.
Yeah. As you know, this is the continuation of the series that ended in '96. That's why it's called '97. Do you want to do cast list now?
Yeah, because it's basically all the same.
Who came back from the old show? Because not everybody did. So please tell me. I thought it was only like 4 or 5 of them.
So do you want me to give cast list, or do you want me to go and tell you who came back?
Both.
Listen, man, you're asking for a lot of work here. Lenore Zane reprises her role as Rogue.
There you go.
Newcomer Matthew Watterson as Magneto. Cal Dodd as Wolverine, which I think is a reprise.
Yeah.
AJ Locascio as Gambit. I think that's new.
Yep.
George Busa as Beast. That's return. Holly Chow as Jubilee. That's new. Ray Chase as Cyclops. I think that's new.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hale as Jean Grey.
Yeah. Isn't it new or the same?
I can't.
That's
remember.
the one I wasn't sure about because I was sure about Beast, Wolverine, Storm, and Rogue, and the rest I wasn't sure about. I don't think.
Speaking of Storm, Allison Seeley Smith reprises her role as Storm. Newcomer JP Karlak is Morph. Eric Bauza plays Sentinels. Guy Augustini plays Sunspot. Roberto da Costa. Isaac Robertson Smith, newcomer, plays Bishop. And where's the last one that I want to say? Gil Birmingham plays Forge.
Or Magneto. Excuse me.
We said that.
I just yawned right into the mic.
Yeah, right into it. There's the second one up. Matthew Watterson. That's newcomer. I believe, right?
I missed that. Yes, newcomer. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna eventually. I'm gonna start doing a. I don't know. My brain broke. This doesn't even matter. I was gonna do a supercut of all the times you said I'm not listening and woke up mid podcast.
Dude, I'm so ADD that I check in and out mid conversation, and usually I just play it off. But
do you want to
here? I just straight up be like, yeah.
Do you want to talk about our name now, since you're having shower thoughts in the middle?
No. I'm trying to subdue those. I'm trying to put the filter back. The filters come out, and I was just saying whatever.
How are you distracted? This is your 9-year-old's dream. We get to talk X-Men for less than 3 hours because you ran out of battery.
That was a good one. That was.
There we go. Baby cable. I'm here for baby cable.
That was a good joke. Oh, Jennifer Hale is a return. So Jean Grey is. So it's 5 of them. All right.
But you know what she's new in? Madeline Pryor. Bang.
Yeah. Well said. Because Madeline Pryor is all up in this bitch.
See what happens when you pay attention to your podcast, kids? Don't be a Coke. Do some dank.
Don't do some dank. Don't do Coke. All right.
There are times.
Well, nobody saw you do that too, so it sounds even more. Yep. He tapped the side of his nose going, times. That's double entendre.
Is it? Speaking like Jigga Man over there. Now that's a rapper who knew how to do beef.
All right, what are we doing here? We're so out of focus. Usually this happens on episodes we don't want to talk about. Like, this is... All right.
The thing is, we kind of already talked about this episode for 30 minutes before we even push play.
I know. That's the problem. We never shut up. So we're doing the first 4 episodes right now.
You got the names of them?
Yes. Episode 1, To Me, My X-Men. Episode 2, Mutant Liberation Begins. Episode 3, Fire Made Flesh. Episode 4, Motendo / Life Death Part 1.
And we can give you a little rundown of what the first 4 shows are, what we think, and where we think this series is headed. Because it's not without fault, but it's very, very comforting to see these guys back in the fold.
So we'll get right into episode 1. To me, my X-Men. Exciting to get in there. We just you press play and you're just like glued to it. Opens up 1 year after graduation day. Yeah.
Before we even get started, we get our original intro, right? Like,
oh yes, we do.
They give us the title cards. They give us the splash pages of each character. They now have like scenes where they're actually coming from. Before, Gambit and Beast were just on a blue screen. Now they're coming from places. They're staggered up now. Like they're giving them. It wasn't all just day into night. It's like day night. And now we're learning based on episodes. They have title cards for characters that will end up inevitably joining the team, like Magneto, who gets his title card in episode 2. Sorry to jump ahead, but there's so much to love about the intro to bring you back to what we loved about the original cartoon in '96.
Yeah. And like you said, yeah, Morph gets a little title card too in the beginning, which he never did. I don't think he ever did
No,
in the first one, right?
Dad.
Did I say dad? I am out of it, man. Good God, I am out of it. Maybe you should just leave this.
Or maybe Morph's your daddy.
No, he's not.
You
Don't
want
say
Daddy
that.
Morph?
No Diddy. Introducing, yeah. So 1 year after graduation day, we do have a new kid in
He beat me to no Diddy too. Damn, he gets props and he gets to laugh. Ah, well done.
They retread over a few old things in this episode, but they
Well, they give us a previous
in new ways, right? Like the introduction of Sunspot as like the audience instead of Jubilee.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the new Jubilee in this run,
And a reluctant Jubilee too, right? He's
Mhm.
very hesitant of using his powers, like even showing us what his powers are. So it's a
yeah,
interesting
Which-
dynamic.
which is crazy because he can go off if he actually lets them loose, but he refuses to. Even 4 episodes in, all we saw was his arm light up. Right,
Yeah.
we're trying to go episode by episode, but we're gonna
Jump
jump
around,
around.
How's Spain?
Friends of Humanity,
Good to see them. Glad they
same
stuck-
outfits.
Yeah, well, nothing changed, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a continuation. We're just assuming this is the next few days later,
Yeah.
right? So same berets, same weird eagle, red and white, red and blue, FOH on their chest, but they've stepped up in terms of weaponry, right? Like they're now kind of benefactoring from Sentinel.
Yeah,
gear.
they got their hands on Sentinel tech, and that's how it opens, right? Bishop, Storm, Cyclops save Sunspot from them, and we get to see. How badly do you want? Do you want to talk about Cyclops or?
No, give him his
Okay.
flowers because I've been
Yes.
giving dudes flowers from hell.
That's what I mean. Do you want to talk about him because he takes the cake in that first action sequence.
Well, it's refreshing to see Storm come in because she's still doing her grand, like, I am the Stormbringer.
She's
Like,
incredible,
she
yeah.
has her stances. And then to see Bishop as a number 2, right? Just in terms of that scenario. Even in the old series, Bishop really didn't really fight. He was more of a catalyst for storylines. So to see him bringing his gat in, but like taking beams, and like there's a moment where like he pushes somebody out of the way to absorb something and then go off. Like, I like seeing it.
Yeah, one thing I will say about this series is it's really using a lot of mutants' powers in new ways
Yes.
that maybe like it's not even like brand new, never thought of, but some of them are, but others is just like just different dimensions. Like you're saying about Bishop in the old run, he was there for story reasons and to play cowboy music, right? But then in this one now, he's using his kinetic energy a lot, where he absorbs it, fires it back. There's the one scene where I think like episode 3, when he gets down and lets Cyclops just blast him in the back,
Yeah, just
and then he
charge up
just
like a
lets it
beam.
go. Yeah,
They're in their hell, right?
that's crazy, right? Like stuff like that. There's new ways to use it. The way Cyclops is zipping around with his beams in this one, or he uses them to like land.
And propel off of things.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
he's almost not even walking anymore. Like his boots are just sliding based on his optic blast and the fact that he's shown more hand to hand visual. Like he's great with the eyes, but like dude can kick ass with his fist. I appreciate like coattailing on what you're saying. Everybody's using their power sparingly. Like they're only really using it at level 3 out of like 10. So it's always awesome when you bring in Storm because I think like episode 2 she comes and like basically glass out the entire desert and just takes out how many Sentinels. It's amazing to see them have this type of restraint, unless you know that these characters have been training and know when to use which power set.
Some villains are back too. Gyrick and Trask are back in this one, and of course they had to revisit them because Gyrick is the guy who takes Charles out.
Right?
So, or Trask is whatever, one of them. Which one? They're interchangeable to me. Yeah, they're interchangeable. But they did take Charles out, and so now this was kind of like this episode was interesting because it retreads old threads while bringing in like this is the team now. I'm like, don't worry about why Bishop and Morph are here. They're here. It's been a year, so they're just here, right? Because they don't really explain why they're there, but they're part of the team again, and they are part of the team now, anyways. And
it's important, but it's comforting, right? They're just
fine.
they're spoon feeding you like your favorite cereal, knowing that it's gonna taste the same, and then at the end they're like, oh, here's a new prize, right?
Yeah. How'd you like that Sentinel graveyard at the end?
I love them
That's
fighting
cool.
Sentinels just off
Yeah.
front, right? Like the fact
But
that
these were like zombie Sentinels, not zombies, but they're like broken Sentinels. So they had that different
that and
aesthetic
like
to them.
how much of a genius Beast is that he knows he can just pop
Just
into a
jump
heart
in.
and like I got a Zord now, like I'm a Megazord, and like was biting them too. I was like,
Yeah.
I keep doing this, Beast, like just take
So
over people's bodies.
in the old series, who was your Cyclops was your favorite, right?
In the old series,
Yeah.
I've always liked Cyclops from the comics. I can't say he was my favorite in the old series, but yes,
series, yeah.
I'll still say yes.
Well, because that was my introduction was the old series. Then I jumped to the comics later. I always had a soft spot for Beast. Always loved my Beast. I don't know. Everybody's like Wolverine. Well, you know, Wolverine was like the big guy. Everybody loves him. I love Wolverine too. But Beast always had this pull to me. I always wanted to be him in the video games and stuff too.
Beast Loki became like the funniest just because he was like fascinating.
Yeah.
And they put him on the shelf, and he was always just like startling people. So like,
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so it's trying.
anytime somebody wakes up, they have to look at Beast first, and if you don't know who Beast is, and again, they did it in this comic. In this '97 run where DaCosta wakes up and he sees Beast and he's startled, and then Jubilee to comfort him. So really nice, kind of turning the wheel just a smidge, but all the same sort of measurements that you remember. No, Beast has always been a great character, and again, something so comforting about bringing back so many of the original voice casting, so you can have that kind of connection to the first set of these cartoons.
How do you feel about, just to take a side note there, how do you feel about their voices?
The only one that kind of stands out is Gambit because that's brand new, but I feel like it's more authentic because he's supposed to be an immigrant. I miss Beast. Scott sounds stronger.
Yeah.
Wolverine's comforting.
Yeah, because the same voice. Yeah.
And then Storm, right? Just because she gets all of those kind of stances and those lines before she uses her powers.
She has a great grandiose kind of voice, like
good word.
Oh, she that sound. She's
the weather, right?
I was talking to Whippet about this show because this is my take. He said this take. He's can't stand Rogue's voice because she sounds so old.
He could hear it, eh?
Wow. It's because it's the same actress, but he's like she sounds so old. In a year, her voice just went like this, and it's like. And I'm exaggerating, and I'm not sure I hate it as much as he does, but you can tell it's.
We definitely broke the glass for whoever's now listening. You're going to hear it now because she does say stuff that's more aimed to like a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
But if she can call me Suge and Hun, and you're going to hear it now. So no, that's a good call.
Blame Whippet.
I'm not mad at that. That's one of the voices we didn't bring up. So
that's why I was asking you what you think. You didn't even mention it, so that's why I was. Digging around there.
I have other reasons not to like Rogue anymore.
Trifling.
Listen, you better put that still up. People need to know.
Oh, the booty? The lack of the booty that the internet's so mad about because the digital cheeks aren't.
The internet's so thirsty. I want to know when you want to talk about how much thirst is going on in this show.
Oh God.
In this show, yes.
What's up? We'll get to that.
All right. Still in episode 1?
Yep.
They saved the day. I especially love as they're flying into what would be the Sentinel graveyard. A Sentinel rips the top off the Blackbird, and you get to really see them shine as they're free falling to the earth. As Storm and Rogue click up to be like, "All right, we got this," and go start grabbing everybody.
Yeah.
And Cyclops mid free fall radios the team is like, "You guys did good," and then turns around and like kamikazes down and then beams himself enough so he can land. I was like, bro, like I've off episode 1, I've already been patted on the back with how much I've invested in. Like, I know this guy is big. Like, I just need everybody else to write him big. And I'm seeing it. So,
to me, my X-Men,
and he gets the line.
He gets the line. So yeah, the big things here are like they
win.
They win. They tie up. I was gonna say they get revenge for Xavier at the end of the last series. They get to showcase a lot of their powers, especially Cyclops and Storm throughout this, because she does this is the one where she freezes like the desert and he goes, give him the forecast. Mm-hmm. And she just wrecks lifts up all, and then Master Mold stands up. That was kind of cool, but he's gone.
You get Sunspot to intro all the characters through the audience eyes. So you get to see who Wolverine is in the Danger Room, which is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Be nice to the lady, bub. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm new here, and she threw me into the Danger Room and said, "Fight."
Yeah.
Like, Jubilee's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I'm kind of side with him until he got so scared that he ran off to go dancing.
That's where he feels free.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Waiting for tonight.
Yeah. And then, so the interesting twist here is that Scott is expected to take over, or he's expecting to take over the X-Men, but the last will and testament of Charles Xavier gives everything to Magneto.
Way to not tell anybody their surrogate dad. Like,
yeah,
in the event I'm not going to be in the event I'm not going to be here anymore, your mortal enemy is going to take over everything I've been.
Yeah. By the way. By the way,
not Beast with seniority, not Storm with sensibility, not Cyclops who's been preparing for it the entire time.
Yeah,
Magnus. So doesn't make sense, but I guess makes sense.
Yeah. No, I don't really understand it. I wonder if it'll come out later on, but I mean, it makes it for interesting TV, right?
I hope it proves to my greatest theory ever that Professor X is the greatest X-Men villain of them all.
Yeah, it's
way to throw him under the bus.
They might.
By the way, one of you may not be the one that you think you are. These are just things I figured out, but didn't tell you when I was alive.
Yeah. No.
I'm the strongest mutant ever, but I'll keep most of you guys in the dark.
One of you might not be the one.
I knew that day one. I was like, "What are you doing, bro? I gotta
That's
die."
So funny. I didn't even think of that. That's so funny, by the way. Because he would have known, right?
Yes! Like, instantly. Like, Jean come talk to him. Oh, wait, well, you're not Jean. Who is this? What mind is this? I know where you live. I know where you're from. Oh, I know who did this to you. My X-Men's come to me.
Yeah.
We have to talk. Didn't say shit. Like,
I never thought of that. That's amazing.
And then went home.
Anybody who's watched the show understands that joke.
This is gonna be a supercut episode of us just laughing at Professor X being a dick to his kids.
What I think is funny is if somebody's listening to this that hasn't watched the season yet, it's gonna go, I don't get it. But you should be listening to this if you haven't watched anyways. But yes,
listen as much as you can listen to this shit because clearly we are enjoying ourselves. If you have to go do homework after this, fine, but hilarious. Like the strongest mutant in the known universe can read everybody's mind. Didn't
give them a heads up about this.
Episode 2.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I want to do something called Morph's cameo count.
Oh, nice. You got him.
Yeah. So in this episode, Professor X, Jean Grey, Angel, and Blob. I think it might be Angel in the next episode, but Blob, Jean Grey, and Professor X.
He's Archangel when they're free falling.
He is Angel. Okay, so I was right. Yeah.
He's blue.
Oh, he's Archangel, but he's Angel too at one point.
Oh, when he's fighting on ground. Yeah, man. Okay, so he does both. Look at that.
He does both, yeah.
Worthington represented.
Yeah, one of my least favorite mutants. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the wing. I like Archangel, but just regular Angel, I just never really...
Because a rich boy.
I think so. Rich, spoiled boy.
Good-looking rich boy.
Blonde locks, yeah.
I have all the money. I'm the best because I have wings. You want to fly with me, girl?
And he bags Psylocke. And I was like, come on, man, bro.
He begs a lot. Listen, not just Psylocke.
You're a rich, good-looking white boy, right? So...
He's Bruce Wayne with wings and likes being known for being Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Worthington Labs. He put Worthington on everything.
Prick. Episode 2 is all about Mutant Liberation Beginning because that's the name of the title.
Is that the name of the title?
No, it's called Mutant Liberation Begins.
Okay. To me by X-Men.
Magneto, in one of his worst outfits, is out there saving humans, and everybody is surprised. But he's trying to prove himself to the team that he wants to uphold Xavier's ideals.
Listen, I don't...
Yes, it's a comic accurate outfit.
Correct.
It's one of his worst.
This is a guy that wears a red leotard and purple underwear.
Yeah, but this one's just got like the hot purple gloves up to his elbows.
He's got a big M on him. He's like Mega Man. What do you want?
It's not the chest that bothers me. It's the gloves and the. It's like looks like it's painted on. It's
if there was a helmet, you'd be all over this. You like helmet Magneto more than non-helmet
No, I don't
Magneto.
mind his hair. I don't mind the long hair. I don't mind the.
I'm not talking about hair. You just like him in a helmet.
No, he doesn't need it now. Nobody's gonna read
I-
his mind.
He never needed it.
Yeah.
They were really selective on this cartoon too, with as much as Magneto needs to wear his helmet in order for Charles to activate his powers, because
Yeah.
he wears it all the time, and X is like, "I got you now." And then
Yeah. No,
It's
it's
not
not. It's not the helmet. It's the gloves that bother me the most. I'll be honest. Yeah, it's the gloves because they go way up to his forearm or his bicep, and I'm just not with that. Looks doesn't look right.
way to take a stand.
All right. Okay. Fine. There it is. That's. I don't like it. Okay, and you can't make me like it.
But he's come to answer for his crimes against humanity, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But
It's
he's trying to change his ways, right? Like I was saying, he's saving humans, and everybody's surprised.
Yes.
And he's just. I like at the when Storm loses her powers, because she does take a bullet for him in the end, and she loses her powers,
Big beam, yeah.
and he takes the entire panel that had him on trial,
Mhm.
and it takes him up
Floats
into like space, and or not space. Sorry, I should say space, but like high up in the atmosphere. And he's like, I would just
Destroy.
if this was the old me, after what you guys just did, but I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. So the restraint he showed is interesting. It's a new side of Magneto we've never seen. So
It's also weird though. The one time he shows restraints is the one time where they caught him lacking, right? Like, had he been on his militant, none of those guys would have got close to him.
Yep.
Like, I swear he would have done a trial. Like, okay, we're doing a trial on this mountain in this iron core sphere that I've made it. And if I don't like that sentence, I'm leaving. Right?
Yeah.
So, but it helps progress the Magneto that Scott is unnerved about. Like, he doesn't sure if he should trust Magneto based on everything his experiences, let alone as the new team lead for the X-Men, right? So to see him taking these mature and kind of changed way approaches is good for him to see, but not without its sacrifices, which unfortunately is Storm.
And Storm and Jean do have a sit down at the early in the episode, and it kind of foreshadows what's coming.
Storm and who?
Storm and yes, well, Storm and quote unquote Jean.
Thank you.
They have a sit down and they foreshadow what's to come for both of them. Actually, how Jean, quote unquote Jean.
You don't have to keep doing it. You're good.
I just wanted to make sure you didn't stop me in the middle of me talking again, but you did anyway. So I forgot where I was, but it just foreshadows that Jean wants a baby with no powers, and Storm wants to know what it's like to not have powers either. So they kind of have, and they both get their wish because Jean turns out to be Madeline Pryor, and she just gives her baby away.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second.
Storm loses her.
But what a weird thing for Storm to say, to be like,
Yeah.
I want to know what are my powers. Like, it's so afflicting and damaging. Like, you're a beast and ostracized or like leashed.
I agree.
Like, you're very in control of your powers. One, two. I don't know if your powers is a direct relation to your great phobia, which is, I guess, claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, yeah.
But like, you're a god, so how are you like slapping face of other gods to be like, oh, I was supposed to be normal? Like, no, like that seemed like a weird choice to get to where you're going.
For someone like Rogue or Beast or even Morph, that would make sense.
Even Cyclops, that
would make sense. Storm is one of the only ones that makes absolutely no sense to me. It's just like you just like
you said Jean too, right?
Jean would no, I said Rogue. Rogue stands out as the most.
Sure.
Rogue and Beast, right? One for physical traits and one for her actual powers.
I could argue Jean for just the amount of power that she has. Sometimes it overwhelms them and hearing all those voices. But yeah, you were saying.
I was gonna say because with Storm, I know she feels the weather and wind and stuff, but couldn't she just like not use her powers? Like
the answer is not. I could not. Very easily.
I could just not do this. Yeah.
So it's those weird things that you notice being such a diehard fan. It's like, like you're so close to like taking me on a path where I wouldn't question anything, but question everything.
Question everything. But then I guess the reasoning for the writers would be is that because she's the Omega on the team, right? Her and Magneto. So just let's knock her down. She's the most powerful, so let's knock her down to nothing.
It did get called out by the Sentinels in the previous episode. Like they were alerted to Omega threat. Yeah.
But isn't Jean Omega as well? No, Phoenix is.
Phoenix
is.
And I'm not sure if like Omega is something you can build yourself into, or you're just automatically Omega.
No, you can. Omega is it's not how powerful you are, it's how powerful you are within your respective power trait. So like you're talking about like telepaths.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like
Charles would be the strongest.
Charles, yeah, Charles would be strong, and then like Jean, and there'd be a whole bunch of them. But like
Madeline.
for weather
Strife.
manipulation,
Right.
Storm is Omega.
Yep.
Right. That's the kind of for magnetism, you know.
I wonder who it's going to be for shapeshifting if it's not Morph. Mystique? Is that Mystique?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's class. I'm not sure the exact details, but like, is there even an Omega for shape? Because you either shapeshift or you don't, right? Like,
But that's the fun thing about mutant powers. There's always this little button that we don't see, and they can do something that's so even.
yeah, maybe they can just shapeshift one arm rather than the whole body, right? Yeah.
Or like they shape shit to the point that like they can replicate like memories from a person. Like they go
Yeah.
so in depth. Like
Yeah.
mutant
So yeah, it's a good
powers.
question because I don't know. I remember every once in a while I'll research like on the internet and stuff like, oh, what's the Omegas like? And then you go to these rabbit holes and people have different opinions and stuff. So you kind of got to find the official like Marvel one. This is the Omegas list, or this is the exact definition of Omega, and then you gotta figure that out. It's
Piece that around. And then again, with comic books, everything is kind of spotty in terms of continuity, and they'll invent a rule to be like, yeah, there's a higher than Omega now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. There's a
it's the-
double Omega.
it's the Dragon Ball theory. Like once they went to Saiyan, they're like, okay, we can do Super Saiyan.
It's a
And you're like,
holographic
God,
Omega.
God Saiyan, like his hair's turning pink now. It's turning pink.
How many Super Saiyans are there?
I
4, right?
I don't have the answer. I just know the colors of hair got more.
Because it goes
neon
Super
and
Saiyan.
fluorescent.
Super Saiyan is yellow hair. Super Saiyan 2 is like white hair. Super Saiyan 3 is the long hair. And then Super Saiyan 4 is when they go back to black hair with the tails. And then is there anything after that?
Probably.
Okay, I don't know. I don't care. But that's why I asked the question and I realized I don't care. Yeah.
Immediately, as I go to do the research, like I don't want to know it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what it is.
We also get a new villain in this. New in that when I say new, I mean wasn't in the old series. Executioner was not in the old series. He was cool because he's like this
Omega
nut.
Lover Human.
Yeah, Omega Level Human. He does because he's got.
I
he's
have all
armored
the
up.
weapons and a mask.
Yeah.
Look at my mask.
and the mask. It's the mask is that
And
key, right? He puts the mask on, and it's like
Well, I mean, any fans that loved Griffin from Wildcats, he's got that sort of like,
oh yeah.
pseudo draped bandana,
Yeah.
or an executioner mask, which I didn't put together until I said it out loud.
It's funny that they keep not. I just realized that's right. They keep not taking Wolverine on missions. Have you noticed that? Like in the first episode, that the break in with the Friends of Humanity, he's not there.
No.
And now with this trial thing, he was there in the desert, but everybody was. This one, he's now not taken to the trial. He's just left at home with Jean.
You do know that, but you know that why that is, right?
Why?
Logan's a liability.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know for the trials, yeah. But it's just funny how he's just like you just cool out there.
It's no wonder that he becomes a teacher because he's
Knucklehead.
always at the mansion. He's always in the danger room. It's like, all right, bro, just
I think he's more of a lifer than Scott is.
that's because he's lived like 16 lives.
Yeah,
that's somebody else
That's
that
fair enough.
if you read the story well, I could see him saying, "I wish I never had healing powers, just so he could
Mhm.
die."
Yeah. But then he wouldn't be with Jane.
I mean, Madeline.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the big twist in this one is that, well, there's a couple twists. Storm leaves the school. And,
Strafe.
Yeah. Storm leaves the school. She just bounces. She's like, I got no powers. I'm out. I thought that was kind of
Weird.
There's a theme here. Rush.
Yeah, them not. Could we talk about it now? Could we talk about this nitpick?
Things happen incredibly fast.
Yeah, I would say that the storylines, while interesting and intriguing, are very underdeveloped, and they're not giving enough space and time for us to truly understand what's happening because they're going so fast to get to each character arc, right? Like we were saying, even after watching the first 2 episodes, like this series should already be longer, right? Like these should either be hour-long episodes or this season should have been 20 episodes.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, because the Storm losing her powers, that 2 episodes, sure, whatever. I don't really like that storyline, but it didn't feel too rushed. But this Jean thing, when her clone shows up at the end, and it's like, oh yeah, episode 3, it's just kind of like, oh, by the way, that's Madeline Pryor.
and like out of characteristic beast at the end of episode 2, or is it start of 3? Where it's just like, "She's a clone," and like just blurting it out to everybody.
That's what I mean. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Her name's not Madeline Pryor yet, but they're just kind of like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is the first 5 minutes of the episode, and you're the clone. You're the real one, and you're the fake one." It's like
what?
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't get to like play any sort of paranoia, or if they take sides, or like just them interacting with each other. It was really like rushed. We got to get to birthing out this kid and putting new characters on the map to get to the big bad, right? Like I feel like Madeline Pryor's introduction was really just to get us to Sinister, which is unfortunate because you did it so fast when that could have been 3 episodes of just great TV.
Well, and then episode 3, Fire Made Flesh, is basically Inferno.
Yeah.
Pressed into 2/3 of an episode. It's like, what? And it's crazy. The visuals in this show are crazy. And the fight is awesome. That's the fight. Yeah, that's the fight where Cyclops shoots
Bishop in
the back. Yeah.
Where they like descend into hell and have to fight demons. But it's just amazing precedent, right?
Yeah, but it's like Storm loses her powers. Okay, that makes sense. And then she immediately does a 180 and is like, I'm out.
Yeah,
but she has no reservation whatsoever, no loyalty to the school. She's kind of like, by the way, Jean, I left you a note. I'm gone later.
This is the Pryor, so like now we think Storm and Madeline have a deeper relationship than Storm and Jean, but really leaves a lot of them holding the bag, which is out of characteristic for her, but such a trope for the X-Men team who are constantly like, I gotta get out of here, right? Like it's just funny that it wasn't Logan first, but again, condensed. So the time that it would have taken us to actually empathize with this character and see her motivations and reasons for doing it, we don't get that. We get shortchanged of like, here's a letter, peace out. She's hit the road, right?
Because we only have 30 seconds, so let's just make it as quick as possible. And that's problem. I don't know if I blame the writing for that or just what they were greenlit for. Like, I'm not sure who to blame for that.
But there's no commercials. So you're not shaving off time for that. There's 3 minutes of credits, which we fucking can't figure out. But
those are commercials.
This could have easily. It's on their own channel. That's what breaks my brain. Like Disney, you're not fighting to get onto ABC, which is like publicly owned cable. You're not fighting to get onto, let's say, HBO, which was pay cable. You have your own infrastructure. You have your own umbrella. You have your own channel. If you wanted to make a whole bunch of 39-minute episodes, you're well within your rights. Nobody's going to question that. But they kept still trying to fit into a square peg. And then wool over our eyes. It's not even that they're stretching out 30 minutes. It's really, we're getting like 20 something, sometimes 18 minutes just for the sake of as many credits you want to give us. Like, what are you doing?
But why can't it just be whatever you want? I like Mandalorian. I watched the first season of that, and some episodes were 30 minutes, some episodes were 45, some episodes were 27, some episodes were like 50. It's like, just make it as long as it, like you said, this is your spot.
Yep.
This is your show, your spot. Nobody's forcing you to have.
And this is a proven winner. Like people been clamoring for X-Men animated series since we lost X-Men the animated series.
And it's a sequel to the OG. Like, man, come on. You got to think people in our age bracket are going to eat this shit up. Like, make it as long as you need to.
And
the
rushing
the rushing storylines and it hurts the characters
to get us to the end, and we're gonna get to an end and be like, well, this wasn't satisfying because you pushed through all these other storylines that got underdeveloped. Did you do we're on episode 2? Did you do your morph
cameo count? No, this one, Lady Deathstrike, Colossus, Psylocke, Sabretooth. Remember Sabretooth at the end? He's like, you want to get some beer?
Yeah. He's got to be the best therapy for Wolverine until episode 3. No?
Yeah. Although I guess in that scene when they do when everybody's having the hallucinations, Wolverine doesn't know. It's just only he does, right? So
he can't smell his way out of it.
I don't think Wolverine can smell that somebody wants to bang him, but I could be like
pheromones.
Fuck.
And then we're not even sure if he wants to bang him. That's weird. I don't know. We'll talk about more for a little bit later. But episode 3, everything gets thrown on their heads, right?
Yeah, Fire Made Flesh. So yeah, Jean or her clone shows up exhausted and weak. So it's the real Jean. And the front door. When Jean reads her mind, it's vague, partial memories and some stuff about escaping a lab. Like you said, Beast was able to basically ace their DNA in 30 seconds. And it turns Yeah, and it turns out that Jean came to the door, has older hemoglobin. The other is much younger. Then discovers who made her. Sinister. It's like everybody. That's the other thing too. Is like
Just
not only did he figure out who the clone was, but he also figured out in the same minute where the clone came from.
yeah, he's a genius. Okay, I'll fight for him a little bit.
Yeah.
And this show's not without breadcrumbs because constantly in previous episodes we do get touch tones of what could be in the future. We're just saying it's so fast rushed that you don't even get to appreciate these little Easter eggs you're getting now because it gets stepped on in the immediate episode. So, like, it's an increased payoff because the payoff is like, it's like you put a Starburst in your mouth, but you're so excited that it slips out. You're like, oh no, and like it's on the ground now. You didn't get to, it's like savor and enjoy. You just got that. It's on your tongue, but you didn't get to chew it.
No, you swallow it right away. Gone. Just melts like that. But yeah, she goes full on Goblin Queen, and
Steals the baby, which also got rushed because the baby's born.
Yeah, the baby was born, by the way. It was born in episode 2.
Little Nathan.
They call him Nathan. And that didn't even click with me. Like, when I was watching it, I was a little annoyed because I was like, I know there's 2 couples, right? There's Cyclops and Jean from an alt universe that have Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Cyclops and Maddie who have
Cable.
Yeah, I was going to say Nabel. Nathan, right?
Call me Nathan.
I'm out of it. And when they said, oh, it's a son, I was just like, it didn't click with me. I was like, oh, I don't remember which one's which. So
that's the clone, baby.
Yeah, and then I was like, wait, it's. And then when she came to the door, I was like, oh shit, it's Maddie.
Yeah,
that's right. It makes sense.
Which is fun, right? Like you still want to be surprised, and you never know what they're actually going to pull from directly from comics or curtail to fit what they want this animated show to be, right?
And so what is interesting, although it was also rushed, what is interesting is how they get Cable into like his time jumping scenario.
Yeah. With
the technovirus being introduced to him by
immediately
by Sinister. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was like, here you go. So Sinister is
throws him in a tank of green juice and he's driving. He's like,
he's driving. Yeah.
I have Miss Sinister. I can't wait for some more Essex.
I'm going to make him immortal. And that's why there's good things and that's why there's good things and bad things, right? Because it's cool that this is how they get him to be his time jumping self.
Right.
He gets the technovirus and then Bishop takes him to the future, lickety split. Or
my time watch works again. I'll just go back home. Peace. Like, what? I thought you were part of the team. Damn it, man. That Russian shit.
Wow. And then, like, I like how they tried to make, when they were given, okay, so hang on, let me back up. Sinister takes the baby. He puts him in this
vat of green.
He exposes him, let's just say, he exposes him to the technovirus
puts him in
slowly
juice.
So that basically he can build up immunities and be like immortal.
But that baby's drowning, though, isn't he? Also,
no, he's not drowning. Technically, I guess he would be drowning, but he's not drowning. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
He put him in the ooze, bro.
Yeah, he is in the ooze. That's exposing him to the technovirus. He's supposed to build immunities to it and then be like, invincible, indestructible. But when the X-Men show up, they break the vat and Nathan and Sister's like,
a little hole in it and it starts to like,
it just leaks out. Yeah, and they just go grab him while glass is falling all around.
What an anticlimactic battle!
Yeah,
after coming off of the amazing celestial plane between Jean and Madeline, like that was
crazy. That was cool.
That was
really
so
cool. Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I want to say that could have been a whole episode, but I understand why this was only like 5 minutes.
So they merge consciousness, right?
I don't know.
Is that what you got from that? Because I got like they merged consciousness, and then Jean like took over, and so then she became basically Maddie.
It depends whose mind they're fighting in, right? Like I don't know if they're sharing
in Maddie's mind. No.
Okay, so then I guess Jean's just unlocking.
She basically took over her body. That's how I.
This is me. So you be you, and then Madeline's like, all right, cool. I need a new name.
Yeah, and she like basically was Jean Jean was Maddie until the fight was over,
and then becomes a good guy. So it's like, we got cheated on like an actual villain in the series with Goblin Queen because Madeline's like, all right, I'll help you guys now. Come here, Scott. Let's go with our baby.
Yeah, but then they bail on the baby too. That's like that kill. So
they all bail on the baby. The only one that shows any
any sort of empathy is Cyclops' wall punch. He's like,
And it's forced. He's just like what's funny is like
oh,
he's like, that's my son. I can't just do this. So I'm gonna walk away. And it's like, wait a second, that doesn't even
You know what? To be the best dad, I'm gonna let you take my baby into the future.
I won't be a part of this.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm trusting you to do what's right. To me, my X-Man, I'm staying with the team. What the
But
fuck?
don't ever say that this was my idea.
And not even the span of an episode. The span of like 10 minutes. He's like, all right, send him in the future.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
No, yeah.
I'll just keep leading the team. Like, what? Like, no wonder your brothers don't like you, man. You can't make rash decisions about this shit.
And Maddie, who just birthed this kid, is like, well, I'm going to go walk down this road now. I'm out. Later.
Again, someone that shouldn't be walking could totally fly. Uber's invented. They have several jets under this goddamn basketball court. Just go, hitchhike.
She's out. Yeah.
So
the
weird.
Jets. Yeah, the Jet.
Remember the old series? Every like 2 episodes, 2 of them are like,
Jets.
jumping off in the
Constant jets. Well,
like,
2 of it.
Go to Russia.
There's one episode where they had like 3 jets in the air at the same time. Like, who's funding these guys? This is nuts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Know who's funding these?
Yeah.
Brain power.
So yeah, Bishop takes Nate into an alternate future to try and save him from the virus.
Oh, you mean you fixed my time jumping thing right when you needed me to take a baby to the future?
No worries,
sweet.
I got
can
you.
do that. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
later.
Pit stop.
I'm out. And then Storm. This is one part. This is my favorite part of the episode. Actually, Storm meets Forge in a bar called Tequila Mockingbird.
That's pretty funny.
It's a great pun.
We only serve rum here.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Morph cameo count for this episode:
Bang.
Spiral, Classic Morph, Magic, and Darkchild. So that was cool. They got both. You got both iterations of Magic in there. My girl.
And Morph gets to be the Easter egg of this episode to carry it to the next one, which is being Spiral.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he was Spiral in this one, and then Spiral shows up in this one. Now we're bitching and I'll just say that we're bitching and moaning about how episodes should be longer.
Yes.
This episode 4 just goes, nah, we're gonna make them shorter.
Here's what you guys weren't asking for:
Yeah.
2 episodes into one.
not even full.
time?
1 episode and 1 half of an episode, part 1. Because there's the Motendo, which is just Mojo Nintendo, which actually works better because it only has
episode.
yeah. I can't stand Mojo World and I can't stand Jubilee. So
Put it
although
together.
like this, yeah. Although this version of Jubilee is better than the old one because she does interesting things with her powers in this one.
She's competent,
Yes.
and she's been. A
And she's still 18 30 years later. This is 97. Come on, Coke.
We've been watching Simpsons for 30 years. That kid's 10.
Yeah. Fair enough.
10.
Yeah. The only people who hate video games are people who are bad at video games. I like that line.
That's a good line.
That's about all I liked from this episode. And
I
yeah,
liked
so
the look of it. I liked when they turned it 8-bit or 16-bit and she
yeah.
was fighting.
Oh yeah. Really
that
cool.
was
Yeah, they
slick.
did like a side scroller beat 'em up.
To reference the arcade 6. Remember the 6-player game of X-Men where you could be Nightcrawler, Dazzler, Cyclops, Storm, Colossus, or Wolverine. That game was awesome.
Yeah.
especially when you got the full arcade one where they had the double screens.
Yeah.
And all 6 people could fight at the same time. Oh, buddy. Talk about video games, but it's hard as hell. So.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of those old games. Well, those old games were designed to be basically impossible, right? So that you kept using your quarters.
I was gonna say the quarter stealers, right?
Yeah,
When we had to
exactly.
pay directly for instant gratification.
And so they were supposed to be hard. You weren't supposed to beat them. It was like, no, I keep paying.
Oh, at least you can't beat them at 1 quarter.
Yeah, that was the scam. So yeah, Jubilee and Sunspot get sucked into Mojoverse.
Randomly, because he can just do that at any point with anything. Like he sucked them in with a fake video game cartridge system, which kind of looked a little N64 kind of Sega Genesis to me.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Jubilee didn't originally have that game there, so
No, it's just there.
I want to know how you just dropping MacGuffins to make things work for reasons.
Yeah. And so they go in. So visually, this episode's really fun, but it means nothing. I don't know why they put it here, but
You know exactly why they put it here.
Oh, I know exactly why they put it. Yeah, you're right. Because they have to rush a romance between Jubilee and Sunspot. Ta-da!
It is her
So
18th birthday. She wants to party and party
Yes.
hard. She can't do it with
Yeah.
the adults in the beginning of the day, so she goes to play a game with her
Yeah.
best friend, now lover, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Did she-
soon to be, I guess. Yeah.
Does she do it with the gloves on or the gloves off?
I don't know. Either way, it's fireworks. You know what I mean?
Good save.
You know,
Good save.
you know what I'm saying?
I was just referencing
but
Fight
yeah-
Club in my head. That's why.
Okay, yeah, right on. Yeah, no, they go, they go into the video game. They go through different styles of games with like the fighting. Somebody keeps saving them. Did you know who that was going to be? Future Jubilee.
No, but I was very happy to see a cameo of Sauron because I laughed when she like
Yes.
she's just kicking them because it was like it reminded me of Turtles in Time when they go back to
Yeah.
go fight like prehistoric dudes and stuff. Like that's how
So I was
the
gonna
Sauron worked for me.
I was gonna say there's no morph in this, but there are cameos. So I just for this episode I didn't call it morph's cameo count. I just called it cameo count.
Fair.
We get Domino, Warpath, Blob again, Sunfire, Gladiator, your boy, the Shi'ar Guard, and Sauron.
Oh, you don't count who
Spyro?
you think it is? No, who's the Raven that's flying around or the owl? You thought it was
Oh yeah, no, that's the other
Okay.
half of the episode. Yeah.
So you don't count this as one episode.
Well, I guess it kind of is, but it's two.
I want you to
episodes
say
in one.
no, which is correct,
It's two.
because these assholes shafted us on two different episodes by giving
Yes.
us two halves of not a whole.
Yep.
And Jubilee SX. So,
Yeah, so it's basically just like a launch pad for her and Sunspot to be romantically involved.
and Sunspot has not gone home for like 2 weeks now. Like
Yeah.
he's still got parents. Like nobody
Yeah.
signed him up to be
Rich parents.
So is that the excuse for him just to be out all night
I guess so.
dancing in dirty warehouses?
Second half of this episode focuses on Storm and Forge.
Third shoehorn romance.
Brutal. Now this one at least is comic book accurate, but good God, is it stupid? It's just like
Fine, but doesn't make sense to the story that you're telling
doesn't
now.
no, and especially when he's dropping L bombs like that.
That and like she
Fuck
is
me.
the most vulnerable and like in need, so like that doesn't work too. Like you
Yeah.
kind of look like you preying on her in her weakest moment. Like love
Yeah.
her as the goddess that she is,
Yeah,
not as the woman she. I couldn't finish that. I was gonna say ain't, but like no, she wouldn't.
because that's one thing I want to say. Did they say how long she's been there? I didn't catch it.
No, but like time is weird in this universe too.
Because how you get like I know she's beautiful and strong and everything, but I'm in love with you. It's like Forge, man,
she walked a long time to get to Texas. If we're judging that the
looking like a
tequila
like-
bar.
looking like a
Clutch.
sucker for love, and pussy gonna get him killed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he lives in a shack by himself with his hand
Yeah,
that he built with.
his robot hand.
Yeah, so something's happened, but considering that Storm doesn't have flying powers, you would assume that this walk took a while because
Yeah.
isn't Xavier Mansion in like upper New York? Like aren't they East Coast
I
School?
think Connecticut. I think.
Yeah,
Or I might be wrong.
Is it
That's a
Blue
good
Blood?
question. It's
I
Matt.
think it is.
I think so. Where is Xavier?
And the bar that she finds Forge is definitely in Texas because they're flying the Lone Star State flag.
Yeah, Westchester County, New York. Well, I knew that. Salem Center, Westchester County, New York.
So it's another fault of just rushing something that could have progressed through the entire season. He could have been like, "There's something about Storm," and by episode 9, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm really into her." But dude's like, "I love you, and I've always loved you. I will fix you. You will
exactly-
be whole." It's like, what the hell, Forge?
And it was like don't leave me. I'm in love with you. It's like fuck.
You have no powers, but I will give you powers.
Yeah.
Love me. It's like,
And this
no.
is right after she learns that he was part of the mutant. He was part of the driving force for the mutant college.
Yeah, when
Like,
the
he
initial
helped.
scientists to
Yeah.
create that.
He's like, Defense Department paid me, and I just built this thing. She's like, you made that? No, they just paid me. It's like, so you made that.
So like sipped him out two ways. They made him a sucker for love instantly, but then can't fess up for his actual mistakes. That
Yeah.
you like, so
Yeah.
you built this? Like, well,
Yeah.
I designed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you, Forge. You
For
built
money.
it. Come
That
on, man.
That doesn't make it better, dude.
The more we talk about this, the more I'm not sure if I like this show. At least this first part, there are glaring omissions that I'm like, you're doing these characters.
Oh, this is by far the worst episode. By far the worst episode.
this part of the episode. Or
No,
like
this whole episode.
Part, number 4.
Number
which is like
4.
4A, 4B.
4A, 4B.
Yeah.
Horrible stuff.
And this is
like
where we're ending.
Comparably speaking, what's that?
And this is where we're ending, guys.
Yeah, we are. There is a giant like bird that Storm runs into.
I want someone to like come into this episode not knowing anything
Right
about
there.
X-Men.
Yeah.
But like, there's a giant bird, just shows up. Like, what? What are you guys talking about? It flies around and then it grows big, and then it hugs her.
I'm banking that it's the Shadow King because she has history with him, and it started with the red eyes. Remember the red eyes, and then everything got weird.
I'm banking on Omega Red because of it's warm out there.
Okay, I think anything's possible.
That's not possible. If it's Omega Red,
I'm just trying to be nice.
No, don't. You knew I was joking. There's no way you took me seriously in that way.
No, I didn't. I thought I was like, what? Where's he going with this? I thought it was gonna be one of your like, Iron Man's the real villain. And I was like,
of the MCU, he is. He's an arms dealer. If he wasn't making bombs, nobody would be in this problem.
I love bringing that up because you're always like, man, fuck you.
Fucking RDJ. Anyway. Yeah, this episode was
that's how it ends. Giant bird.
Anyway, this was a
giant bird.
Episode. This was our whoosh episode.
Yeah, this is our whoosh. You get one whoosh. That's it.
We hope. Don't give us we don't want another one.
So I wrote a quick thing about like the arcs that these characters are on.
Sure.
And you can really see who's like
they're paying attention to.
Yeah, like if you look at Cyclops, for example, he was the first one I wrote. Taking over the team, pregnant wife who wants to leave the team that he just took over, learning that Magneto is in charge, he didn't really take over the team, and learning that that pregnant wife is actually not your real wife.
And
she's a clone. She's a clone, and then the new son. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. He's going through a lot right there.
So are you now praising him for just setting his son into the future? Like, I can't deal with this. I got a lot.
No, but
we'll talk when you're older.
I wish I would. Yeah, which is basically what happens.
Yep. I can explain. I'm an X-Men.
Right, and then you compare that with somebody like Gambit, old girl gone. That's his arc. He wears tiny t-shirts now, and
he's the most mistrusting of Magneto. Whether that's because he's moving in on your girl, he's still the only one that's like, I can't really trust him as the
yeah. So my point with this exercise is that like they're not. I'm assuming that later on in the season they're going to focus more on the characters they aren't focusing on fully right now. Possibly, but maybe
or
not.
In my head, you would finish the arc of the characters that you got me engaged with.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you don't leave those open, but yeah.
And then give a crazy episode where Wolverine goes berserk because, like you said, they haven't been using him. So
yeah.
He just needs one episode to be like, ah.
Yeah. So we did Cyclops. We did Cyclops with Gambit. Jean Grey trying to reestablish herself on the team after your clone's been there for so long, because they won't have those memories. They won't share those memories, right? They only share memories from the before times. So.
And like totally has to get in the bed with the dude who's been banging out your clone and just be like, so, did you sleep with her every night? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Scott should be in way more hot water just off of like, you slept with her, and he'll be like, well, it's you. Like, I didn't know, right? Like, I'd love that conversation argument to be.
Well, does she snore like me? It's like, well, yeah, she's your clone.
She did this thing with her tongue on my.
You never did that.
Yeah, so that's how I knew it wasn't you.
Then you have Storm, who's dealing with the loss of her powers, which seemed to be her own storyline, because she's separate from the team now, is what I meant. Wolverine,
and now dealing with an infatuated man who could help me, but ultimately was the one that hurt me.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a good way of saying it. So hers is kind of interesting too. Wolverine, although I was mad that they did. Remember at the beginning, I was like, "This is not a good storyline."
You don't like that storyline. Yeah.
I don't like the whole hero losing their powers thing. That generally just doesn't sit well with me. But we'll see how this.
But do you remember my argument to that, or at least my what I think they're trying to aim for was the fact that it is a writing trope, but this is a way that you build up Storm to be one of the fan favorites, right? Like. Mm-hmm. You separate her, you give her something to overcome that's larger than everything else, and then you end up, because she's Omega, she's going to be that Superman character at the end of the day. They say.
Yeah, it only makes her stronger, because she will get her powers back at some point.
Or go to the future.
And then fall in love with Forge. Yeah, there you Matt Wolverine dealing with being the forever third wheel is so far his. He has no arc right now.
No arc. That's the correct statement. I have nothing to do with Wolverine yet.
Yeah, him and Bishop have absolutely no arcs. No arcs.
Bishop got his arc, which is you're not from
Take
here,
the
go
baby.
home.
Yeah.
Take the baby.
And Beast isn't doing his arc. So what I wrote.
Okay.
What I wrote.
I was gonna say before you go to Beast, the one arc that I hope they do with Bishop is they make him the Piccolo character, as the Cable would be the Gohan,
mentor,
and he gets to raise him and kind of
like Cable and Hope, except the other way around. Bishop and Cable.
Like that too. And that would make sense if that's how Cable was raised by like a stranger. He knows how to do that moving forward.
Yep.
So if they get their own little spin-off, I appreciate that. Who knows?
Beast is the only dude not trying to fuck everybody on the team.
I feel like he already got him in.
Yeah.
He would just wake up in bed inside them. And be like,
Oh, he would just do that.
Yeah. Fascinating.
That's the X-Men written by Alan Moore.
Deep down in layer.
If you don't get that joke, too bad. Rogue. Love triangle, but they're bringing back the story of like the same story of I'm sad that I can't touch anybody, and that's not a knock because that's kind of like the only thing you can do with her. But I hope they do the Krakoan angle where she actually learns to control it. If that's the way they're gonna go,
I feel like that's Magneto's influence on her,
right?
And removing the love aspect, she's almost Magneto's greatest champion because she knows the soft side that he has, as well as the leader that he can be. So, without saying it, Rogue's kind of arc is championing Magneto to be this leader because she knows what he's capable of.
So I missed it. Why can she touch him?
He figured out somehow with his electromagnetism, he can kind of
repress
her power strength so that she's just human to him.
Did they say that or did I missed that?
That's a comic thing.
That's a comic thing, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I just remember that in the comics, like, oh yeah, they definitely get it in. And
because I remember they met in the Savage Land, so I thought it was always that, and then.
But then his power set, like,
yeah,
writers for writing reasons,
yes,
and find a way to be like, I'm this good with my powers.
But now in the Krakoan era, she just controls it. And that's what we're talking about, like evolution of powers. Like I hope that's where they go. If they're gonna do the same story with Rogue, which is kind of hard to avoid, to be fair to them being the writers.
Yep.
I hope they kind of evolve it in that way, where it's like, okay, now I'm over it. I can touch whoever I want while I'm focused, right?
It seems to be the smartest way to go, considering what they've done with everyone's individual power sets and launching different aspects of it. I will say about Magneto, I can't remember what I was going to say. I thought it was super interesting, but I guess not.
Well, if we talk about Magneto, he's trying to change his ways to honor his late friend with a team that doesn't like him in a community that hates him. So that's an interesting dynamic. I think him and Cyclops and I guess Storm have the most interesting arcs.
But not a lot of pushback from anyone on the team that he's going to be the leader.
Except for Cyclops, but he kind of has his own things going on.
Like they all just sucked it up based off like this will and testament. Like, okay, this is like I guess that's maturity, or like I just don't have the energy to fight this. But I've been fighting this guy for essentially 6 years if we're going off of the 95 era, or like 4 years, right? Because the fifth year they don't really fight him. He's in
the
so to just flip flop to be like, I guess this is the way that it has to happen. Like that doesn't make sense for how headstrong a lot of these characters are. There would be some sort of argument or some sort of like I challenge you in the danger room or like stepping on toes in the field. So I don't think we've ever seen them in the field yet. Since
Scott got his lines in though. Like when the government came to he's like get ready, my X-Men. He's like we don't fight the government or whatever it was. We don't get. And it's like okay, he's trying. He's trying.
They gave him the lame stuff, but they would have given Wolverine like I don't follow nobody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right. And Storm would have been like, we need to sit down and actually discuss this. Jean would have been in his head. To
exactly.
Be like, are you pure? Or are you against this? Remy's the only Beast would have had the scientific well, what are the factors here? Like, what's the actual ratio of percentage that he's actually going to be one of ours or one of theirs? Like, I feel like they would all talk to him a specific way to at least feel him out. But like, the major complaint, I guess, we're talking about this first chunk of the series. A storyline that's underdeveloped or rushed to the point that we don't get the nuances that we want from each individual character to deal with the things that are happening with them.
That's right. Who are we missing? Morph. Nothing going on there. So in episode 3, when they're doing the
it's kind of Deadpool, isn't he?
The kind of Deadpoolish, yeah. He's like comic relief. But in that 3rd episode, when they're doing the Inferno thing with Madeline Pryor, and everybody's seeing illusions, he has an illusion of Wolverine in the shower, and he has a line. Wolverine, his Wolverine illusion is like, we all know you want it, Morph, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yep.
Basically, what that alluded to me is that Morph has inner repressed feelings for Wolverine, which I don't like because it's stupid.
Because doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I like,
and we're not talking based off of a sexual orientation preference. No. We're talking about the friendship that you would have built with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't just immediately turn to like, now I want to bang you from behind in the shower.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because even like, you go back to the old series, their bond is based on tight knit friendship. They're just boys. And it's like, even if one of them was into men, why would like it automatically be, I want my best friend? It's like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems very forced, and I hate it. And I hope nothing comes from it because it's not a good arc, especially when you're trying to force romance or sexual tension within so many different.
Rooms.
Yeah,
every other room's got a threesome waiting to explode.
You got Scott, wife's clone. You got Gambit, Rogue, Magneto. You got Jubilee and Sunspot, which are the other 2 we haven't talked about. You got Storm and Forge. You got Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean. And then you got what we were just talking about, Wolverine and more. Like, it's, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here?
Bishop and the baby. Let's go to the future where this is. We can raise them on our own.
And then we have Jubilee and Sunspot. So they kind of go together because Sunspot is essentially, like we talked about earlier, taking over Jubilee's role in this series from when she was the audience's eyes in the first series.
The brand new one. Kid.
So he's the new kid, and now she's kind of showing the ropes. But of course, they have to, fall for each other too.
But
so
that actually
makes
sense.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just chirping because it's everybody, right? Yeah. That doesn't make sense for her. They're the same age. That they are getting close knit. They're new. They just met too. So it's
it's her birthday.
Yeah, it's her birthday. She's 18 now.
She can do it in the mansion.
Yeah. So we've talked about this already, but pros and cons. Like, how are you liking this? Let's just get a gut check.
I was enjoying it more before I talked about it with you, and everything glaring that I was like, oh, this really does piss me off now.
Yeah.
But again, there's something comforting to see these guys back in a stronger animation style. We didn't talk about it, but like the shadowing and how they've given everyone more of a full-fledged kind of 3-dimensional look. Like, I love the art stylings. And like, again, if this was the worst thing I had to watch, it would still be my favorite thing. So I'm mad because it's so close to being flawless that it just hurts my head. Like, they don't want to be.
Yeah, I have a short list, and my number one thing is animation is incredible. It looks amazing. Like, we were talking about Storm with her powers, it just makes her look even bigger than she was already. Like that.
I wanted you to say powerful.
No,
her powers look more powerful.
More her power, yeah.
You're right. Even
so
with like the light hand that they use with Scott, like in the last time we were watching X-Men all together, it was a simple beam. It didn't really change until like his visor came off and you could see it open up. Now that you get like little splinter shots, like little pew pews, as opposed to like large big beams. Like the animation really is acute to all these different ways that you can tell stories without using words.
Yeah. Like we were saying, the new use of powers, just exactly what you're talking about, because that's another thing that I like too. We're on the same wavelength. You talked about Cyclops, we talked about Bishop, but even like Gambit igniting Wolverine's claws. That was dope. When he's riding on his back, he ignites his claws. Rogue sapping the Doctor's power so she can deliver the baby.
Have you seen the? That was great. Like that was.
It's cool. That's their new use of powers, right? She's learning a skill from somebody rather than like their.
It got undercut. Like they didn't really show off the fact that like, hey man, that's pretty good. Like you could probably be the smartest mutant if you wanted to. There was a comic floating on the internet of Gambit charging Wolverine's claws and like it explodes and his whole body explodes.
Yeah,
like skeleton. I laughed so hard. I was like, yeah, like we don't really know what all these powers do. Like
no,
so
yeah,
there's definitely some kabooms by accident.
One thing that I have one little gripe that it's funny, but I roll my eyes. Is like we haven't talked about it yet, but it's a little annoying how they keep describing their powers to each other because they already know their powers, right? Well, my magnetism will come in here and destroy you. Yes, well, my mind reading. It's like, guys, like I understand why they do that. It's for the audience, but it's like
that, and I feel like they're all jealous of Storm, who really has the only benefit of like great winds from the east, circle and then like Gambit's like charging power of these nuts and bolts.
Yeah,
like
my hash browns. That's what he's good.
So I was thinking there's like jealousy of like we trying to step up to her level, but no, I see what you're saying. Just like non-needed exposition.
That's not like
healing factor. Heal my gut.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's not like a huge knock. It's just kind of like you don't need to do this, guys. Like we know what they do.
It seems like it's an in-joke between the voice actors and the writers to be like, yeah, say you got blue balls there, buddy.
Yeah.
Beast powers with my intellect and my gravity manipulation.
Because if they don't say it, it's not true. But yeah, the intro song's great. Like we said, the short episodes mean rush plots, which is so far not so great. But the last 3 episodes are 1 3-part thing. So.
And the intro inserts, right? They're showing whether or not it's going to be a Rick and Morty of like these are tastes of episodes to come, or these are just things that are on the. Because I saw Phoenix in one of those intro shots. I saw like Magneto tearing up a whole bunch of shit in one of those intro shots, and then the hilarious knock at the end of the episode. They go back to the spinning 3D character that's no longer 3D.
Yeah, that's dope. I thought that was really cool, man.
I was happy that they brought that back. That was funny.
Also in the intro too, when the Brotherhood is running at the X-Men.
Right.
You pointed out to me that they changed a couple people. They changed Warpath, and
you got mad. You're like, no Warpath.
No, I was trying to be funny. Like I was like, yeah, it was Brainchild and Warpath taken out for Emma and who?
Pyro.
Emma and Pyro. No, Pyro's in the original. Was it Pyro?
He's taller now.
Oh, Pyro will turn you to toast.
Listen, they didn't make him. I'm not gonna go there because
with the pointed face.
I didn't mind that because it started to fade now. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
he's so
a tattoo on his face.
Yeah, because he's so like I want to belong, and I was like, get a tattoo. He's like, I got my face done. You idiot! Like you need one of those on. You need one of those on the team to be like, you're an idiot. Like look at your face. But yeah, they didn't switch over Magneto from the Brotherhood to the X-Men side. So,
are there any cameos or characters you haven't seen yet that you want to see? I think I know what your answer will be.
Mystique.
Oh no, I was expecting that. Okay, fair enough.
Who'd you think I was gonna say?
I think you're gonna say Colossus.
He's coming. We saw Magic, so we know he's coming.
We saw. Well, she's not gonna be in it though, but we saw.
We don't know. The whole speculation between me and you was like Sunspot could be the way that they spin off into
the
New Mutants,
which would be dope because that would mean Magic. Yeah.
That would mean Magic, and that would be Magic because that is a working title that made me a fan in the span of 20 issues. Because we started reading that book with the Krakoa era, and I hated those motherfuckers, and now I can't get enough of that team.
Yeah, no, that team became
gold,
amazing.
As soon as they gave Magic a sword, I was like, all right, I run things.
What's the mutant that they have that the Krakoa one, the one that's really ugly?
Crap! It's just my head.
Corsair or whatever. Was it Corsair?
Is it Corsair?
No, I don't know the name.
The lost. What is it? The lost tribe.
The one that. No, the one. The one that they found. She was like, she's.
If you remember the name of the like semi clique that they had, the subgroup from New Mutants, they're like lost something.
Yeah, something like that. Lost Kids. Her. I wonder if they're gonna have her in it.
Lost Club.
Lost Club.
And the rankings are. Damn this dial-up internet. Loading. It says Lost Club here, and I see loading. Members.
This is brutalizing what I was going to say, but it was just like
Cosmar. You were right.
Cosmar, yeah, I was close. I said Corsair. Cosmar. I can never remember her name for some reason. If they put her in the New Mutants too, people are like, "Who the hell is that?" Because she's dope, but it's just, or no girl.
No girl. Just a floating head.
Just a floating brain.
Well, that's the thing I think about this series. Like, it seems like it dares to take those weird type of paths, and it could take us on some weird kind of explorations that we weren't expecting to see. Yeah, that like true fans of a comic be like, I remember this, or like just pointing at the screen, like the meme. because it seems like they're not trying to sugarcoat us into anything. They're not talking down to us. They're just not giving us enough time to fully develop stuff that we enjoy. And I don't think that's production's fault. I think that's more
Creative. Yeah.
Is that production? Wait,
I was gonna say no, wait. I thought I knew what you were saying, but I was like, no, that's production's fault. That's not the creative's fault.
You do know what I'm saying. I just reversed it.
You reversed it.
I don't think that's creative's fault. I think the stories are there and what they want to do with these characters are all lined up. But I do think it's production that's enforcing whatever sort of time constraints and not enough episodes to tell these amazing stories that we want to see.
I want to see Sauron.
I mean, we did see Sauron.
Yeah,
real Sauron.
Yeah.
Is that who you're expecting?
No. I don't think. I hope so. Here's the thing: is I kind of hope it's just Sinister from here on out, and then I guess the Shadow King thing, and like they got to clean it up. They got to clean some of this up. I really wanted to see more of Friends of Humanity and Executioner, because that's cool. That's a uniting force, right? Then Madeline Pryor comes and goes, and now I think Mojo came and went like half an episode, which I don't care about anyways because I'm not a big fan of his. But just do the Sinister thing.
Does that mean we get Sinister's Nasty Boys?
The Nasty Boys, yeah.
They call me Airbag. My mother named me Airbag. I'm from the Caribbean. Listen to my voice. I am called Airbag. Good Lord. I would like to see it because I feel like they would actually give the correct voice actor to Airbag.
What's some cast a white guy?
Listen, if they can't, but if they cast like Chet Hanks, I mean, he knows what to do. He knows what to do, right? There are fair skinned Caribbean people. I'm not knocking that exist in the world.
Did you hear about when they casted whoever they casted for Sunspot in this Roberto? He's like a light skinned dude.
Okay.
And people were like upset because he's not dark enough. Like, but he's
it's his voice.
Puerto Rican. Yeah. Like, no, he's gotta be dark. It's like, come on.
Does
man.
he? I mean,
like I think he was Puerto Rican. It's like come on, man.
You do know the internet does like being mad at things.
They're just mad at it, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I swear there's a picture of the Gambit voice actor wearing the halter top pink
shirt. That's dope. That's
there's a funnier picture of him sitting in a booth in the background and looking at the voice actor for Rogue and Magneto getting close at a table.
That's funny. Yeah,
I was like, you guys are having fun. I appreciate that.
That's great.
Yeah, have fun.
And I would say that we'll be back with the next 3 episodes in the next episode, but nobody cares.